All right, we're back and we're going to do slide number 3 called the interview site. So I'll see that on this table that I'm doing slide 3 interview site. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do a new slide and I'm going to call it interview site. Some slides you can give your own name to it and it'll tell you that one. So this slide says where and how did you do the interview? When you may use complete sentences. So I'll put that on this one instead. I've interviewed my dad several times since starting this project, and I always learn something new. The sessions usually take place at his home in Virginia or wherever I was living at the time. Okay, there's a lot more to this and I'll add more to it as we go along. So that's my third slide. I'm going to go back over here and look. The fourth slide is question 1 from the interview, and it's going to be called background. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw interview site. That should have been called setting. I'll change that. And then the next one is called background. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to setting because I missed seeing that the next time. I'm going to go ahead and do a new slide, and I'm going to call this one background. All right, and the background slide tells me that this is from question 1 of your interview. So you're going to have to pull out your interview. And it says use bullet points to talk about your subject's background, life circumstances before entering the military. And it doesn't have everything on there. So you'll also look at that interview and see what other questions were asked. So I'm going to put bullet points on here. Over here, now yours, I don't know where your bullet points are. You may have to expand this menu. You may have to use the more menu to get to yours, but it looks like mine are here. So I'm just going to click, wrong place. I'm going to get down here in my text box, my content box, and I'm going to click bullets, and that's going to start my bullets for me. So I'm going to write. Now, one of the things you need to realize, you should not ever use a pronoun he or she in here because we already know because of your subject, the first slide, that your person is a he or she. So I'm going to write grew up in Virginia. Should have written this one first. I'm going to do this then. I'm going to write abandoned as a baby, abandoned as an infant. Grew up in Virginia, raised by a woman who, I would like to say the word collected, but she really didn't. She just took in young people. Like she took in just young boys. I don't think she did anybody else. She had young boys. Her name was Miss Ware. And when I actually do my show, I'll tell you a lot more about this. Okay, he was abandoned as an infant. It says his life, what he was doing before he went into the military. So I'm gonna raise this button. I'm gonna say he worked hard on a farm. He was raised on a farm. So those are going to be my 4 points. Now, there are other things that I want to say about his background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this slide. See, now number 4 is background and my number 5 is background. And I'm going to just start from here. So he was abandoned as an infant, grew up in Virginia, worked on a farm. I'm going to say he was a machinist, trained as a machinist, lied to get into the military at an early age. And he worked as a cook, and he worked as a machinist. So those are a couple things that I know I'm going to talk about when I talk about his background. So that's, now for me, this is slide number 4. Question 1 of the interview was slide 4, but it's also number 5 for me. So now the next one is question 2 from the interview, and that's going to be where his entry, how he got into the military. So I'll go over here, do a new slide, and call it entry. And on this one, I'm going to talk about how he went into the military and so forth and so on. And Mrs. Loudermilk is just going to help you, or whoever was in my class today is going to help you go ahead and get the rest of these slides set up. And you'll go all the way through, I think number 8 or number 9, and then there'll be some other ones you'll have to do later.